guys. How y'all doing? I hope you're having a great Wednesday so far. Thanks for spending your afternoon and your evening with us, whether you're grabbing some lunch, whether you're grabbing some dinner, whether you're going to the gym, whether you're going for a walk. Thanks for taking time to be with us because, again, you already know we're all about taking a pause from that heavy news cycle of the day and just giving you all the good that is happening throughout our community or good that's taking place across the world. For example, right here, I think this went down in Las Vegas. We have a Good Samaritan that stepped in at the right time to help this officer arrest or at least detain this particular gentleman here. You notice that it's just a lot of situations happening right here. Hold on, let me make sure this is the right one. Yeah, no, it's the right one. But yeah, like I was saying, this is a situation where a Good Samaritan stepped in when he was needed the most to help this officer detain this individual. We're going to get into exactly why this had to happen, what all went into it, and again, just showcasing and highlighting how it's important to help when help is needed. And in that same vein, man, again, starting our day off the right way, happy National Rose Day. Again, the rose as always commonly represents love and romance, and while the rose gets center stage on Valentine's Day, again, today is the day we recognize it. It's National Rose Day. The flower has its place in so many settings, from a wedding ceremony to a personal sign of affection for someone or to take a prominent place in your garden. Spring is the best time to plant a rose bush, and if you plan to do so, remember that the rose needs 6 or more hours of sunlight and fertile soil that is well drained. Whether you're single or having a special someone, treat yourself to a rose today, man. There's something special about giving a rose. I'm not that big of a flower person. I will admit this. Like when people give me flowers, I'm like, oh, that's sweet because I understand the gesture behind it and the intent behind it. But I'm just personally not a flower person. I know a lot of people who are similar to myself. Like, you know, hey, it's sweet and that's kind and all, but you know, it's not anything mean about it. Yeah, like I will accept a flower, but yeah, it's just not my cup of tea. My mom, on the other hand, loves getting roses. So every Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, birthday, whatever you name it, I try to have some type of roses her way, pink roses, white roses, stuff like that will actually put a smile on her face. So if you guys want to simply put a smile on somebody's face today, go out there and get them a rose. So with that, it is time to have the time of your life because we got something cool coming our way. First of its kind, Dirty Dancing Festival coming to Giles County this summer. The To-Do Day event will be held at Mountain Lake Lodge, which is where the hit movie was filmed almost 40 years ago. It will feature live performances, dance competitions, lessons, trivia, merchandise, and so much more. It says that the festival is set for August 16th and 17th. For information, you can get those tickets on our website at WSLS.com. So head out there, try to get yourself involved with that because it's going to be pretty unique. That's going to be a cool experience, especially if this is the same kind of location setup. Everybody channel your inner Patrick Swayze, get your sexiness on, do your thing right there and there. We're going to give some love to this person right here because while a lot of people strive for perfection, not many people achieve it, but that's not the case for this graduating high school senior. Her name is Riley Bodian. Alexandria, Louisiana is where she's from. She had a perfect attendance record from her days in elementary school all the way through high school. Let me tell you what all this got her. Like literally, I do not take anything from having perfect attendance because again, it's obvious that she used every single day to be as successful as she is today. 14 straight years of perfect attendance, quite a feat. She managed through all the years of the pandemic. And then get this, she maintained a 4.3 grade point average, received her associate arts degree from a local college just 2 days after graduating high school. And now she plans to attend Grambling State University, where she hopes to double major in dance and education. Man, shout out to you, girl. I love hearing stories like this because, again, it showcases the fact that hard work, dedication, perseverance, determination, just put all that together and you can have a successful journey. And that's exactly what happened with Riley, man. 14 years straight. Like I joked about it earlier, but I'm like, that joker must have had a very strong immune system because she didn't call out sick now one time probably went into school with the sniffles. But either way, no matter what the case may be, man, it paid off. So, man, shout out to her. Congratulations. And I know her story is definitely inspiring others. If you got perfect attendance out there, keep it up because you can just may very well be exactly like Riley. Here's something that's interesting. This is a cool story in a way because, you would think a lot of plant-based things, plant-based diets and all that stuff, you think that that's kind of like the go-to thing if you're dieting and stuff. I know that's kind of like the misconception for a lot of people, but get this. There's a study that says that switching to a plant-based diet has been touted as a way to live longer and reduce your risk of chronic diseases, but the kind of plant-based foods you're putting on your plate could be undermining your efforts. Let me explain. It says ultra-processed plant-based foods have now been linked to heart disease and early death. Researchers looked at data from more than 1,000 or 100,000 people who answered questions about their diet. That information was later tied to hospital and mortality records. They found that the plant-based junk foods dramatically raised bad cholesterol and high blood pressure, and also said it increased the risk of heart disease and early death. So something to keep in mind. Again, this is not no me throwing shade at anybody who likes plant-based burgers and stuff like that. I mean, do you boo, whatever you want. But again, just be careful and cautious of the kind of foods that you are putting in your body, and don't be, kind of making assumptions about, what this is doing to your health, because it can be very well not doing good things for it. So again, just do your extra research. That's kind of one of those things. Again, I'm not trying to take this off anybody's plate or put it on anybody's plate at all, but again, it just helps no matter if you're a plant-based eater or just meat eater, whatever. Do your extra homework. Let's get to our forecast on this hump day. Meteorologist Chris Michaels let us go behind the scene to capture his moments as far as what's going on today and what you need to know for the rest of the week.
From the JDS Weather Center.
Happy Wednesday, I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels. Today, slightly warmer, high temperatures mostly 80 to 85. Hottest day this week, Friday, the high 93 in Roanoke, the record 95 degrees. Still pretty toasty on Father's Day, though I don't think we're hitting quite 95 by then. A few stray storms will be possible north of the Roanoke Valley heading into Friday evening, then by Saturday and Sunday, highs in the 80s. The heat making a comeback big time heading into next week with highs about 90 to 95 degrees.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. That was pretty cool seeing that. I think we're going to start doing that here often because a lot of people want to know what he sees or how he goes through his forecast and stuff. And that green screen always throws people up because, again, that technology allows him to see and do things that when you look at it from on camera, you don't know exactly that he's not pointing to a screen. He's actually looking at this green sheet, So either way, cool shot right there. Shout out to Chris Michaels giving us our forecast, what we need to know on our hump day. Do not go anywhere because after the break, we'll get into this interesting story where, especially in that plant-based vein, we're going to talk about why Joey Chestnut getting booted from a competition eating hot dogs. You already know about it. And we're also talking about this, again, a Good Samaritan stepping in at the right time to help an officer detain a man suspected of being drunken in public. What all happened? The whole situation. And again, what this officer wants to say to this good man who stepped in to help him. All that's coming your way after the break on The Sprint. Do not go anywhere. WSLS.com. Welcome back to The Sprint, guys. Let's get right into this story. This is one of those stories that I'm going to admit that I can't watch the hot dog eating contest. Like, I literally gag just thinking about it sometimes because I'm like, wet bread. Look, I can't even just describe it. But anyways, I know a lot of people watch these competitions often, but you might have some disappointing news because, get this, less than a month ago, Major League Eating announces that Joey Chestnut will not be able to compete in the 2024 Nathan's Famous 4th of July hot dog eating contest. Here's why. Says the acclaimed competitive eater Joey Jaws Chestnut has been removed from this year's contest over a purported contract with a company that makes plant-based hot dogs. Impossible Foods. It says MLE says that they would love nothing more than to have Chestnut attend this year's contest, and they hope that he will return when he's not representing a rival brand. Chestnut is a 16-time winner of Nathan's Famous International Hot Dog Eating Contest. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, sometimes I'm thinking to myself, that's kind of petty, man. This is what he has grown to where he has sponsorships now. Go ahead with him with his bad self, but either way, maybe him not being able to show up this year will make room for somebody else who is a professional hot dog eater, but God, just to look at it. Look out, oh God, Lord Jesus. I just can't, man. It's oh, and then he's still drinking. Lord bless it. Okay, let me get out of this real quick. Oh Lord, it's just something about it that just wet bread, hot dog, and them having to crank all that stuff back in one setting. No, thank you. I would stick to a dry bun and an all beef hot dog. Simple, just one, maybe two, but just one is all I need. But oh man, hopefully again he gets to compete again once I guess when they work out this rival brand sponsorship thing. But again, it's going to make room for somebody else to get in and win some type of competition as well. Good luck on that all front. And those of you who are interested in watching that and want to see it, I know you were looking forward to that, but hey, you got to cheer on somebody else, somebody new now. Let's get into this story, okay? So again, like I mentioned earlier, I love these kind of stories because it goes to show that, again, our law enforcement, they're human beings just like we are, and sometimes they need help when you're doing it in a way that is very appropriate, I should say, in a respectful setting. So here's the situation. Nevada Sheriff's Office hoping to find a Good Samaritan who stepped in to help a deputy in need so they can thank him. The whole purpose of them even coming forward is because they want to show thanks to this stranger who rolled up and helped them try to detain somebody. Okay, so we got exactly the body cam footage of how everything shaped out, why it happened the way it happened, and again, the message that the sheriff has for this unidentified stranger. Check it out.
There's an intoxicated male in the parking lot causing a scene with other individuals.
A man in a yellow shirt walks up to the driver's side door of a deputy's vehicle as he arrives to calls for help outside of Terrible's Lakeside Casino in Pahrump.
I didn't want him wandering in the roadway, so I asked him to step off the roadway. He basically refused, so I had to go hands-on with him.
Within about 15 seconds of arriving on scene, Sheriff's Deputy Jason Roosh found himself scuffling to get the upper hand.
He started resisting, and we ended up going to the ground. So while I'm trying to place him in custody is when this bystander pulls in front, gets out of his truck, and proceeds to help me.
With the help of this unidentified private citizen, Deputy Roosh was able to take the man into custody without injury to himself or the suspect.
He made a couple statements to the suspect to just comply. He helped with grabbing an arm and putting it behind the suspect's back.
Deputy Roosh, who has only been on the job for 9 months, says he is thankful the stranger had his back.
Me personally, as the officer who needed the assistance, and I'm sure as the department, we like to express our appreciation. He probably didn't want the recognition. He's one of those types of people that be kind of the unrecognized hero.
Nye County Sheriff Joe McGill says he is thankful too that there is no way of knowing what this might have become if it hadn't been for this citizen stopping.
If he doesn't want to go on television and make himself known, that's fine. But I'd love if he would come down to my office and sit down and have a cup of coffee with me, and I'll tell him thank you face to face.
Yeah, so again, it's always cool to see law enforcement want to reach a hand out to say thank you. You know, I needed that help. And, this officer himself was trying to be nice about, trying to figure out what the situation was. He was literally trying to protect this guy from getting in the street and possibly getting hit by a car. Either way, the fact of the matter is that the guy who stepped in, who just was just a random stranger, drove up, saw the situation, was just like, let me make sure I figure out how I can help to where nothing drastic would have taken place. So let's get Jazz in. Jazz, these kind of stories, again, remind you that people can always need some type of helping hand, no matter if they're in uniform or not, but long as it's done in an appropriate way,
Really, absolutely. Because even though we are heroes, so to speak, it's nice to see that when someone else, a complete stranger, saw that he was in need, he didn't waste any time stopping his vehicle and jumping into action immediately just to help him. He was struggling with this man who, he was just trying to help him get out of the road so that he wouldn't get hit. So I'm glad that everything ended well, and I'm really glad that the stranger felt the need and had enough empathy to jump in and help him when he needed assistance. Because officers are always serving us and serving our community, so it's nice when we return that favor.
Oh, yeah. And then something else that, again, is just important to note that, again, this ended in a way where nobody had to pull a weapon out, nobody had to do anything fatal, and hopefully it ended in a way to where whoever this guy was, it gives him a second chance to go back and be like, yeah, I was tripping that day. Let me make sure I don't do this again, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And everything ended well. The man jumped in to save the officer. Like you said, no one was hurt. So I'm glad that things unfolded in the way that they did, because we've seen situations where it didn't, unfortunately, unfold in that way. But I'm glad that no one was seriously hurt. Glad that it didn't have to escalate to anything to this. And it's just nice to see strangers jump in to help just because, you know, like he was driving, he could have cared about his day and drove right past, but he immediately stopped his day, stopped his truck, and jumped into action to help this officer who needed some help, needed assistance.
Oh, yeah.
It's nice to see, because he really could have just drove by.
Right. Oh, yeah. And
it's good to see strangers jumping in and helping where needed.
yeah, exactly. Okay, Jazz, are you a fan of the hot dog eating contests?
Oh.
I can't, girl. I was telling you, I can't watch the video. It's something about, I don't know what it is.
It's just, putting hot dogs in the water. On it. And can you imagine, like, how badly your stomach would hurt after eating all that?
I would not be able to see a hot dog. But I will say, you remember during the Taco Ritas, they were having a taco eating contest? I could do that.
I was going to do that. I could do something like that.
Yeah.
I'm really changing how the taco is.
Right.
People dipping it in water. And, but the taco contest that we had for Taco Ritas, I feel like that was doable. I think it was what wasn't it, like 10 tacos?
10 tacos, yeah.
I could eat that on a regular day.
Yeah. Oh, yes, Jazz. Thank you, girlie. I'll take you later. Bye. Yeah, no, Jazz is so right. And again, I'm not dipping a taco in any kind of water. If anything, I'm dipping it in some type of salsa verde, you name it. But yeah, I can do a taco eating contest. Hot dogs, just like I said, the thought of it just making me kind of queasy. Either way, thank you guys for joining us today. And again, we love highlighting those positive stories that are happening, not only here on the local level, but just around our country. If you guys know of anything like that, something that'll keep people talking, got the conversation kind of really fired up or something like that, please send it our way, because we love chit-chatting about it. And again, especially with this case, when you have a Good Samaritan stepping in to help a distressed officer, doing it in an appropriate setting, you know, that's always a blessing right there. And this story is not, I'm not trying to inspire everybody. Like, if you see some type of stuff going down, no, that's not giving anybody just the free will to run into an investigative scene and interfere with an officer's ability to arrest somebody or ability to try to arrest somebody. We ain't saying all that. But again, this guy, it was an appropriate setting, stepped in when things could have gotten really, really funky if that officer wasn't helped as soon as he was. So again, you just got to pick your battles. But more than anything, it just should be inspiring to people to just get out there and do the right thing, no matter who you're doing it for. I hope you guys had a great time with us today, and hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back here again tomorrow at 12:30 and 6:30 p.m. I'll see you guys then on WSLS.com.